It's not operational learning. You nicked me in front of everyone. You pepper sprayed me from point blank range. You arrested me in front of my kids on my daughter's birthday. You've took away my rights for 6 months. You've limited my freedom. You've invaded my privacy and the people I've had to meet. And anyone I've met for the last 6 months, I have to give the police their phone numbers. They then ring them. It's like, are we in China? Like, they moan about China, they moan about Russia, and then they pretend we have all this freedom, which we don't have anyway. We are a totalitarian state.
Sheila Gunn Reid for Rebel News, and I just came out of the Westminster Magistrates Court. You see, I'm here covering the latest trial of Tommy Robinson, the citizen journalist and activist. To find out more about why I'm here, go to tommytrial.com. I'll give you the brief version, though. Tommy was arrested November 26th as a working journalist on his way to cover a protest against anti-Semitism in London. You see, his presence there might make people anxious, so the police acted with a dispersal order, which resulted in the arrest of Tommy and then him being pepper sprayed and then banned from Greater London.
This was the Metropolitan Police Force yesterday. The right of the press to freely report on protests is no less important than the right to the protest itself. They should be able to do so without facing intimidation and aggression, officer. Yeah? Officers spoke with a journalist and her team following the incident. I'm a member of the press. I'm at work. Yeah? I'm not. Is anyone here caused alarm and distress by my presence here? No. Ladies, everyone's Jewish here. There's no one who's caused alarm and distress. No one has come up to you and said anything about me. You are working under the orders of Sadiq Khan and Mark Rowley. Mark Rowley is an apologist for Hamas. They're apologists for jihad. And the British public are fed up of your total policing.
It was a crazy day of testimony today. In fact, I think it was a pretty embarrassing day for the Metropolitan Police. I caught Tommy as he walked out of court. Take a listen to this interview. Tommy, I want to ask you. Yep. Police officers were, the insinuation is that they were fabricating evidence today against you. And then chalking it up to a disability. That's a new one even for me to hear.
They admitted it. He actually stood in court and admitted that the order that they had from the 25th to disperse people, and the order on the 26th was from 2 p.m. Yeah, and then when they arrested me, they obviously realised we've arrested him at 1 o'clock. The order doesn't come in till 2 o'clock. So he says he then went in later and edited it and changed it till 10 in the morning. It's like, no, mate, you didn't have a lawful order. You didn't have a lawful order. You decided to edit and falsify evidence, which you've admitted. He admitted that he hadn't read the Home Office guidance, but in his statement, he quoted the Home Office guidance. So when asked, well, if you haven't read it, where'd you get it from? He said, well, and the senior officer had copied and pasted it into my statement. It's like, are you fucking for real? This bloke he's a senior ranking police officer. No wonder there's so much of a mess in our country, and especially with criminality and crime. If that gentleman there is a senior officer in charge, I wouldn't leave him in charge of my pet, let alone in charge of a group of police officers.
I did appreciate his honesty after the fact, though, because he said, well, I'm not even sure if the order I drafted is valid.
Yeah, no, they asked him, well, can we be confident that there was a lawful order? He said no.
No.
He said no. And then he said, what was his word? Operational learning. That's operational learning. No, it's not my office. If you're that police officer, it's not operational learning. You nicked me in front of everyone. You pepper sprayed me from point blank range. You arrested me in front of my kids on my daughter's birthday. You've took away my rights for 6 months. You've limited my freedom. You've invaded my privacy and the people I've had to meet. And anyone I've met for the last 6 months, I have to give the police their phone numbers. They then ring them. It's like, are we in China? Like, they moan about China, they moan about Russia, and then they pretend we have all this freedom, which we don't have anyway. We are a totalitarian state. Yeah, they have us under total lockdown and control. Just people believe this bullshit that we have got it. You try exercising it anyway and challenge any government narrative, any one of them. Yeah, they come down you like a ton of bricks from every angle. I'm just here to do my job. That's my cameraman. I'm at work. Do you think a member of the press should be arrested for doing their job? No. I'm glad the journalists are saying that.
So Stephen, this is your Stephen, listen, this is your dispersal notice. You're basically got to leave immediately. Are you going to take this off me or not?
Officer, you're embarrassing.
Stephen,
you're embarrassing.
This is embarrassment. Take that as a no.
This is
embarrassment. You now need to leave.
It's an embarrassment to the police. and that's what they've done against me. But we're going to get a win tomorrow, and even if we don't get a win tomorrow, we're still winning. We're awakening the public. More people are awake to their lies than ever. No one trusts the media, which brings a big smile to my face, yeah, like these stupid journalists. What's my alleged offence?
I'm bored now.
You're bored? What a great journalist. What a great journalist. What a great journalist.
Okay.
This is the problem, yeah? What is my alleged offence? You don't know, do you?
Your alleged offence.
Are you getting up on your phone?
He's charged with refusing to leave an anti-Semitism protest in London.
She still thought she had the power with the camera. Nah. She still didn't realise. I'm looking at her thinking, you're going to go viral, yeah? Look, this is the attitude of so-called... She thinks she takes some more high ground as a journalist, yeah? She don't even know why I'm
normally
here.
journalists ask questions and you answer.
And I'm a journalist, that's why I'm asking you questions,
You're not
darling.
a journalist,
Are you going to wait out here to apologise when it gets proven this was all unlawful?
Oh, I'll be looking forward to watching.
So I was surprised, actually, that the hearing went beyond the testimony
Yeah.
of that officer. But then, regardless of that, whether or not the order was valid, the exemption to the order is work. And you were seen repeatedly in the video saying, I'm at work, I'm a journalist, and yet they proceeded with the dispersal order.
And the police officer said, I don't know if he said that. It's what I was saying. I was saying it the whole time, which is why they cut all the videos off. They've cut the videos off that showed them attacking me, being violent with me, so then they can lie in their statements and say I was aggressive, which I wasn't. But yeah, the exemption, which I knew the exemption before I went, which is why I kept saying, no, I'm at work. Yeah, I'd read it before I went. I read the police made a statement the day before about the importance of journalism, the importance of freedom of the press, and then they come and done that. So because they still think that they think in today's digital world that they still have control, yeah? Because the media had total control for decades and decades and decades because we didn't have social media, we didn't have the internet. They could tell everyone how to think about and who to think it about, yeah? That went with social media. Then they brought in censorship to destroy us all so then they could censor us. Elon Musk has given us back our voice, yeah? So this Sky News reporter, I wouldn't have been able to humiliate her today without X, without my social media platform. That she would have been able to put together her story, all the mainstream would have been able to put together their lies, because usually all of these citizen journalists would have still been censored. Everyone's demonetised, who's here probably on YouTube. Everyone's silenced, can't talk about vaccine, can't talk about this. But on X, we have freedom of speech. So it's great to have a platform where we can share the truth and we can embarrass them. And tomorrow, that's what we're going to come here and do on St George's Day. Okay, I am a journalist, yeah? Unfortunately for you, I'm a far better journalist than people like yourself. And I have more trust in people like yourself. It's the reason...
Most journalists don't have criminal convictions, though.
I've never been tried by a jury.
Well, you're about to be.
No,
you're
I'm
about
not.
to be.
No, I'm
well,
not.
you're about to go to. You're about to have a trial.
If you knew your facts, there's no jury waiting in.
But it is a trial.
Yeah, by an appointed judge.
So that's what Tommy had to say. I think he's hopeful. I'm hopeful too. I've done a lot of court reporting in my day, and based on the questions that the judge was asking the Crown at the end of the day about documentation, I think things are going to go Tommy's way tomorrow. However, this is the legal system here in the United Kingdom, and it has not been kind to Tommy Robinson. But either way, we'll be back in court tomorrow morning at 10:30 to find out if the case will be dismissed. If you want to find out about what happened in court today, you can follow along with my tweets at Sheila Gunn Reid or go to TommyTrial.com. For Rebel News here in Westminster, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. I've flown over here from Western Canada economy class to cover the trial of Tommy Robinson. Why? Because you just cannot trust the mainstream media to tell the truth about him. In fact, we saw some of their bad behavior at the courthouse here today. To support my trip here and to follow along with our coverage, please go to TommyTrial.com.